Welcome to the Breakfast Show on Faith FM with Skafy and Lindsay. This is the best place to start your day with positive and uplifting thoughts.
You're listening all across Australia on 87.6, 87.8 or 88 depending on where you are, or you can listen to us through our Faith FM app wherever you are in the world.
And if you're listening live, today is Friday the 13th day of March 2026. I'm in the studio with Lindsay and the producer Tish. Good morning to both of you ladies.
Good morning.
All right.
Hello.
Okay, let's start with our gratitudes. I'm grateful for a couple of things. I'm going to say it and you can choose which one you want me to elaborate on.
Oh, okay.
I'm grateful for A, being a little bit stronger every day.
Okay.
Or option B, I'm grateful for Logos.
Logos?
Yeah, not Logos.
I thought for a second you were talking about
thinking. Not the Greek word Logos.
No.
But like logos, like as in, a brand.
Okay,
Yeah.
right. No, I was thinking you meant like low gossip environments for a second.
Oh, low.
Low goss. Goss is short for gossip. You're just like walking through life and not really dealing with gossip.
This is a Gen Z thing?
No,
Goss?
it's just like short
Never
and
heard.
slang. Aussies say everything in half.
I'll definitely add that one to my beautiful Bogan dictionary here. I love it.
So this morning, Skafy walks in. He's like, "Good morning, Bogan," and I was like, "What? Why are you calling it Bogan?"
Actually, there's a board game that I really wanted to get. It's called Boganology, I think.
Oh dear.
Yeah, but I'm not doing any advertising. But it's just like, man, I love that.
Very Australian.
Yeah, I just love that sort of
Like, can you guess the slang? What it means?
Yeah, I found it fascinating. I really like to learn these like subcultures and these little Aussie Bogan culture. I think it's just
Skafy's still a
very
tourist
funny.
in Australia by the sounds
I
of it.
feel like a forever tourist here.
Oh, so good.
All right, so logos. I got a new logo for my church.
Okay.
Yesterday,
Yeah.
I used like an AI software thing.
Of course, yes.
And it actually created a really cool logo for my church.
You'll have to show me.
It's like a plant with three plants, the bigger one in the middle.
3 leaves.
3 leaves. My church's name is Family Connections.
Okay.
And our vision is that we exist to connect people with their creator and with one another through whole person health and the good news of Jesus. That's what we are all about.
Awesome.
And so that plant kind of symbolizes that because we are connected to God. Jesus says that he's the vine. We cannot do anything without him. So the plants are connected to the big plant in the middle, but we are kind of the branches branching out and connecting to each other through Jesus. And there's the element of growing, spiritual growing and health because it's plant-based. Yeah. I am just very happy. And that website not only gave me the logo, that I created in just a few minutes, but also all of these paraphernalia, when you get like some really posh branding things. And then like I can have like T-shirts now. I can do stationery from my church. I can really make it like Instagram and social media. And I found that so interesting because like it all took me like maybe 15, 20 minutes. So, and as before, you had to pay someone to do that. It's going to take a while for a professional to do this. They're going to charge you a significant amount. Now you can just do it for like almost free. Not free, but like very, very inexpensive.
Wow, so good.
If anybody wants the website, let me know. Text me here, 0481 064 669. I'll let you know what website I used. Or if you want, I can also send you my church logo. You can critique, you can comment, you can see if you like it. What about you, Lindsay Lou? What are you grateful for?
What I'm grateful for is Faith FM. I've been back in here in the studio yesterday afternoon, not just yesterday morning, but I had the opportunity to come along and join Shell for the Book Nook, and we got to interview Sukashini Gunatuleki, and that was a really fun conversation.
Was it a fun show?
It was so fun. I was like, man, an hour and a half went so quickly.
Oh, wow.
And
amazing.
Just got to sit at the feet of a great author, and she talks a lot about Reformation history and church history. And so we were talking about some of her books yesterday and some of the stories that she's researched.
Isn't it cool when you talk to someone that knows a lot of history and has so many interesting stories to share?
And she could just talk so much on the topic, and we just didn't have enough time for her to talk.
Yeah, fantastic.
You're listening to the Breakfast Show podcast on Faith FM. Positively different.
we have a marvelous quiz question coming up today from our marvelous producer, Tish. But before we do this, Tish, what marvelous thing you can share with us that you're grateful for?
Yeah, I had a bit of a think about that one this morning, and I'm actually grateful for a little thing called Pass It On cards. I don't know if you guys know what they are, but they're basically, I'll show you the back of my phone and I'll explain it to everyone on the radio. They're little cards, and they have Bible verses or little encouraging sayings on them. And you can give them to people, you can put them on your wall. They're just really good little daily reminders that God's with you, and I've really loved them.
Oh, nice. So do you have like a stash of them that you just give away?
Yeah, I do. They sit
I want to receive one and pass them along.
I can give one to you.
Oh,
Yeah, they're so much fun. They have little Bible verses or encouragements. You can get them from most of the Adventist bookshops. They're so much fun.
I love it.
Good.
You know what? That reminds me a little bit of these like painted stones. I haven't seen them very often anymore. But like some kids or people would just like make nice, beautiful paintings on stones, and then just like leave these pebbles in random public places. Then you get them, and then you take a picture, and then you put it somewhere else, and someone else finds it.
Yeah.
When have we stopped doing this?
I don't know. I did remember seeing some on the university campus here like 10 years ago, and I chucked it out the window. I didn't realize it was a whole thing.
You chucked it out your window?
Out the window of the classroom.
What, did you look down at least to make sure that you're not hitting anyone's head?
I threw it into the garden where nobody walks. Yeah.
Well, what about the gardener?
There was no gardener there.
That because you could have killed a person, Lindsay. Maybe you're being searched by the police. By the way, police, if there's any gardener that is a cold case, a mystery
From
solved
10 years ago,
that received a stone in their head, like we have the suspect right here, right now. You can come. Just kidding. I'm never going. I will never deliver you to the police like that, Lindsay.
On air. Oh man.
Alrighty, let's get into the quiz question. Something a little bit safer to start this morning, please, Tish.
Are we sure? All right. Fill in the blank with the right adjective. God thundereth blank with his voice. Great things doeth he, which we cannot comprehend. Now that seems very old Englishy, but if you can use a different version, you can go for it. It should be in Job 37 verse 5 if you want to have a look. We have one almost correct word, very similar, and we've got another similar word. And so we'll be a bit, if you think you have the right sort of concept for an idea, please let us know, because there's several different translations and it could be a different word than I have here. I'll read it again. Okay. Fill in the blank with the right adjective. God thundereth blank with his voice. Great things doeth he, which we cannot comprehend.
Well, this is my second attempt.
We have another probably correct answer.
Okay.
I will have to
I'm in the
look up
ballpark
for sure, but we have two correctish ballpark answers here. If you also have a correctish ballpark answer, let me know. 0491 064. I'll read it one more time. Fill in the blank with the right adjective. God thundereth blank with his voice. Great things doeth he, which we cannot comprehend. And if you need a clue, have a look in Job 37 verse 5. Okay.
Tish, how can people play this game with us today?
Yeah. One more time, please text in if you can on 0491 064 669.
All right. 0491 064 669. Thanks, Tish, for that one. We got a message here from Astrid. She says, I am grateful for Jesus. Praise the Lord. I realize he's closer than we think. After listening to the Gabriel's testimony, remember the Gabriel's testimony that we spoke about yesterday? Yes? Yep. Gabriel Estevan, the boy whose race was part of as a big, important leader in an openly satanic worshiping movement. Yeah. So after listening to the Gabriel's testimony, I'm so grateful for Jesus' protection. He hears our prayers even when we are not faithful to him. I am grateful for the battle he fights for us, even when we don't know it. Sometimes I ask God to open my eyes and show me what the Spirit looks like. But after Gabriel's testimony, I'm grateful that I cannot see it. Listen to it. It goes on and on. But look, I am grateful that I know Jesus. Thank you so much, Esther. I really appreciate your gratitude. And I am also grateful for grateful for your life, and grateful for the testimony of Gabriel Esteban. It's a fantastic testimony. I mentioned this is the kind of testimony that All testimonies are beautiful. All testimonies point to Jesus, but some testimonies are really rare.
Yeah.
And these kinds of testimonies, I think that they only come around once every decade or two.
Yeah.
And because we're talking about someone that was really knee deep or, shoulder deep into the world of darkness, and Jesus saved him out of that. And now he's exposing those darknesses. If you would like to receive a link for Gabriel's testimony, is in English. He's speaking English, not the translation. The interviewer, it's very good. Actually, the interviewer was doing a great job in trying to extract all the information from Gabriel. If you'd like to receive that testimony, if you're interested in spiritual warfare, and you let us know here, we will send that to you. 0491 064 669 is our text line. You can text in hashtag Gabriel, and we're going to send that your way. Hashtag Gabriel to 0491 064 669. Now it's the time for our Bible study, Lindsay. Are you ready? We're going to look at the last one of the prophecies of Jacob concerning his sons. And the question that I have today is to tease up your brain is violence ever a good thing?
Ooh.
Is violence ever a good thing? We're going to be talking about that as well, because I think there's a very interesting answer to that question.
Okay.
So let's go into Genesis chapter 49.
27.
Verse 27? All right. So verse 27. Let's see what, young, sweet little Benjamin's prophecy is going to be about.
Okay. Young, sweet little Benjamin. Here we go. Benjamin is a ravenous wolf. In the morning he shall devour the prey, and at night he shall divide the spoil.
Is that it?
I mean, there's one more verse that kind of sums up the 12 tribes.
Read the verse, yeah.
All these are the 12 tribes of Israel, and this is what their father spoke to them, and he blessed them. He blessed each one according to his own blessing.
Yeah, so Benjamin, which in the story, we don't really see him speaking much. He's just a little kid that lost his brother. And he's just like this sweet kid, really. And then when I read this, I was thinking, wow, I mean, what a prophecy for sweet little Benjamin. He's like a ravenous wolf. In the morning, he devours the prey, and in the evening, he divides the spoil. Question to you, Lindsay. Is that a positive, neutral, or negative prophecy? What do you think?
Look, it certainly sounds like he's strong.
Okay.
So that part sounds positive.
All right.
But ravenous wolf does not necessarily have positive connotations.
Mm-hmm.
Usually that's considered like a predator.
Yeah.
Right? Like, especially for a family like the family of Jacob and his sons who were shepherds, particularly.
Okay.
That context, speaking into what they were thinking of, they would have seen that as a predator, as like the big bad wolf, like,
yeah, right.
Like it is a little mind bending to think, because like you always have this idea that Benjamin is
a sweet little kid.
Well, maybe a sweet little kid, or maybe like just the overprotected only duckling sort of thing that Jacob has left of his favorite wife Rachel. Like, Joseph's gone, his favorite son is gone. Now the baby brother needs to be protected, and he's not wanting to send Benjamin off to Egypt just in case he dies. So you think like he's overprotected, but at the same time he probably has quietly got his
kind
own
of sticker shirt.
Yeah, but I'm guessing he's probably just like quietly gotten his own personality and a sense of strength that isn't allowed to really come to the fore because he has been so overprotected all those years.
Yeah, that's a great question. Because look, the reality is we don't really know much about Benjamin.
No.
But what we could perhaps speculate is that, look, my brother is gone. There is an angst and animosity between myself, my dad, and all the other families. Maybe he was in that sort of a protective mode. We don't know. But I'll tell you this. This prophecy came through.
Sure.
In many, many verifiable ways in the Bible.
Benjamin's got a lot going on for it as a tribe.
He's got a lot going on for them as a tribe. Tell me, what famous Benjamites or famous Benjamitish stories do you know, Lindsay? I have 4 in my head.
I have a few in my head as well.
Let's see if they are the same as mine.
King Saul
King Saul, yeah.
is certainly a ravenous wolf. Wasn't Esther from the tribe of Benjamin?
You know what? Good question. I don't know.
I feel like she may have been.
Well, producer Tish, can you find out to us, please, if Esther was from the tribe of Benjamin?
I'll have a look and let you know.
Have a look and let us know.
I think, well, there's another story about the Levite with the concubine who ends up in Gibeah, which is where...
Yes, that's a very interesting story. Go on.
Yeah. So...
We're going to talk about that story as well.
Yeah,
with
okay. I think, off the top of my head, that's all that's really coming to mind right now.
Okay.
But, yeah, like, King Saul was certainly... Like, there was just a lot happening in... Oh, no. There was the war that took place after the concubine. The concubine was split up, and Benjamin was nearly completely destroyed after that.
Yeah.
And then they had to take wives in a very creative way.
So pause there for a second. We're going to go into that story a little bit because it is a hair-splitting story, that one. But you're right. So you mentioned Saul. You mentioned the story in the book of Judges. There's two others that I had in mind. One of them is Paul, the Apostle Paul.
Oh, true. He
was also a Benjamite. Yeah. And then you also have a judge. His name is Ehud.
Oh, okay.
Now, Ehud, to me, he was the predecessor of like modern day Mossad intelligence kind of operations.
How so? I don't know much about Ehud.
So Ehud is in the beginning of the book of Judges in chapter 3. Did you find out about Esther? Yeah. What was it? What's the verdict?
Yes, she was from the tribe of Benjamin.
There you go. All right. Thanks for that. So that makes it even
trivia question.
Yeah, makes it even richer because this is my point here, and I'm going to explain. Violence can be bad. It can be good. For example, there is one translation of the Bible where Jesus says that the kingdom of heaven is taken by force or is taken by violence, by those who are violent. And he's kind of saying like the kingdom of heaven, there is an element of effort that you need to put in. The kingdom of heaven does not come without struggle. There's, both personal struggle against our own sins or struggle about, because, we have to, God gives us the strength, but we have to struggle. We have to put it to use. In the military world, particularly among the special forces, there is this phrase that they use. It says like when they're doing something, they use quote unquote violence of action. Now, violence of action might sound like being violent and beating people up, but it's not about that at all. This is the bad kind of violence. We should never use violence against anyone, like physical violence. But violence of action is just like it's another term that they use to emphasize decision. And to say you're going to be making decisive action. So, for example, let's say that you want to, someone wants to lose weight. Violence of action, saying, okay, I'm going to do everything that I can. I'm going to exercise more. I'm going to eat less. I'm going to eat healthier. I'm going to sleep more. I'm going to drink more water, whatever it is, but you're making decisive action. So that idea of the ravenous wolf of Benjamin, it can be really good because you can get things done. Now, this is the positive part. The positive part of the prophecy is that in the morning he devours the prey, and in the evening he divides the spoil. Dividing the spoil is you have been successful.
And you're sharing it around with the people who are around you as well.
To help you, that's right. Yeah. No, he's devouring. Oh, yeah, he's dividing this spoil. Correct. So back in the ancient days, if there was a war, someone attacked you or you responded, you attacked back, you defended, but you won, you were allowed to collect spoils from that and then divide it.
There's a story in the story of David where they go off and attack the Amalekites to get back his family, his wives, all the people from the town that were left behind. And at the end, they're dividing the spoil, and some of the people who are part of his army are saying, no, we want this much and they shouldn't have any. And he makes a specific ruling on how the spoil will be divided from that point onwar's. So,
okay.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, remember that story. Yeah. It's good that you brought that up. Thanks for that.
Yeah.
So having this decisiveness of action,
Sure.
or as the military calls it, the violence of action, it can actually be a good thing. If violence is a synonym for decisiveness, doing something about it, it's great. If it's something that, however, to do in hurting other people, then I would say it's bad. And what we're going to see is that sometimes all this energy that Benjamin has, this revenue swoop that we have, it can be either geared towards for good, to do righteous things, or it can be veered towards destructive things.
Yeah.
And that's what you have to be careful, particularly for people that are high in energy, and particularly for people that are the movers and shakers, the doers, the entrepreneurs, the people that get things done. This is a gift. But the same energy that helps you to get things done is the same energy that will also tempt you to use this energy, this violence of action, this decisiveness of action in the wrong way, to be either destructive habits to yourself or to destroy others around you or to hurt others around you. And we're going to be talking about some examples in the Bible where that came through in this history of the tribe of Benjamin. How about
You're listening to the Breakfast Show podcast on Faith FM. Positively different.
It's time for our quiz answer and our next quiz question.
Yes, it is. Okay, recapping, you're supposed to fill in the blanks for the right adjective, and it was God thundereth marvelously with his voice. Great things doeth he, which we cannot comprehend. And I believe that was probably the King James Version.
Okay.
Yes.
I have
Okay.
not looked up the correct words for all the other ones, but if you had something along the lines of meaning marvelously, congratulations and well done.
That's
Okay.
so funny. We were just chatting, Skafy and I, during the song, that he came in using the word marvelously a bunch of times in a row at the start of this show. And it was like kind of out of character, kind of like just like off.
Foreshadowing.
Yeah, like
Foreshadowing.
He didn't
This
even
is-
know
yes.
the answer.
I was
Yes.
prophesying and I did not
Prophesying.
know.
Oh, man.
There you go.
It's like, why is he saying marvelously 3 times?
That's right.
in a
I don't know.
row?
I just felt like saying the word marvelous many times today, and there you go. It was the answer to the first quiz question, which I got wrong because I said
Same.
mightily.
I said mightily as well.
But let me see here. We have here a bunch of. I pull out a bunch of different Bible translations. There is wondrously, marvelously, gloriously. Marvelously is the preferred translation here,
Sure.
or wonderfully. So there you go. Thank you very much, Tish. What's the next one?
The next one is, which book numbers the tribes of Israel?
Which book numbers the tribes?
Yeah. Which book numbers the tribes?
I'm going to guess this.
Correct and correct. We have 2 correct answers in our studio. If you think you also know, I don't think I'm going to say the reference this time.
Yeah,
feel like you
I
guys
actually
are smart
prefer-
and you can work it out.
Yeah, you can definitely work it out, but I do prefer the name of that book in Hebrew.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily like how the books in the Bible, in the Hebrew Bible, they kind of go along.
Okay.
I'll tell you why. I kind of prefer our Western tradition. However, for that particular book, I kind of prefer
What's the Hebrew word for this book?
Bemidbar.
Bemidbar.
Yeah, it means in the desert.
Okay.
And the reason is that in the books of the Bible, in the Jewish Bible, their names are like the first word or the first couple of words from the book. This is how they call their names.
Oh, okay. So
That book starts with in the desert
there you go.
or at the desert, whatever.
So Genesis,
So-
it starts with in the beginning.
Bereshit, just Bereshit, yes, in
Yeah.
the beginning.
And that's what Genesis means, in the
Yeah.
beginning. Wow.
Yeah,
There you go.
yeah, there you go. Did you know that?
No.
It's a little curiosity there from Skafy.
But I think we may have accidentally given something away. a
No,
second
we
ago,
haven't. I don't think so.
Potentially.
All right, we are going to move on because we're talking about violence of action and when it can be good things, when it can be bad things. So let's start with the first famous Benjamite that I can think of,
Yeah.
Mr. Ehud.
Mr. Ehud.
Yes,
Where
Ehud.
do we find that?
We find Ehud in Judges chapter 3. I'm going to be
Okay.
paraphrasing, but in Judges chapter 3, Israel was in their infinite cycle of, they're being oppressed by a nation, they they fall in apostasy first, they abandon God, then they become oppressed by a foreign nation, Then they cry out to the Lord, and God raises up a judge, a hero, a champion to deliver them. Then he delivers them, and after that, the people of Israel are thankful, they are faithful to God, and then they fall away, and they get invaded or oppressed by foreign nation, and the cycle goes on and on and on and on painfully throughout the 21 chapters of the book. And Ehud is right at the beginning of that. He is in chapter 3. And Ehud, he came up around a time that the Israelites were being oppressed for many years, I think 18 years, by the Moabites. Now, you know where the Moabites, modern Moab, would be?
Is that Jordan?
Yeah, that's Jordan. That's right. That's round about modern-day Jordan. And the Moabites had a king called Eglon.
Yes.
Now, the Bible says that something about Eglon.
He was really fat.
He was very fat. You know, he was overweight. He was obese. He was a very fat king, which for that time was not something particularly common, actually.
No, because most people were undernourished.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right. And look, different lifestyles and so on. But Eglon was known to be extremely fat. And the Israelites, they used to pay tribute to him. And there is this one day that Ehud was leading that delegation, bringing tribute to Eglon. And when he was there is some innuendos in that story.
Yeah.
They were very interesting because Ehud kind of went behind before he left. You know, they gave the tributes to Eglon, and as they're leaving, Ehud came to Eglon and he says, "Hey Eglon, I have a special message for you. I have a special secret message." Now we can only imagine the faces that he was making, but Eglon probably thought that he was flirting with him.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Have you heard that
take on it as
interpretation?
well.
And I believe it's very accurate because Eglon, he dismisses everyone, including his own security guards, from the room. He just wanted to be by himself between him and Ehud. Now, we don't know what kind of relationship Ehud built with Eglon prior to this point, but I think this is why it kind of adds to that story of the spy story.
Yeah.
The Mossad kind of Secret Service
Sure.
spy. Because he's using deception, he's using this goodwill that he gained with Eglon. And then Eglon says, "Everybody, get out of here!" And they close the door, they lock the door, and then Eglon says, "Come on, a little bit closer to me, Ehud, what do you have to say?" And Ehud said, "I have a special message from God to you." And then as he was there, Ehud had made for himself like a double-edged dagger, which he kept in his right thigh.
Yeah, he strapped it under his robe.
Under his robe. And this is the thing as well, because he was a left-handed man.
Right, yeah.
Which the Bible also points out.
Okay.
So...
Well, he was Benjamite, so that makes sense. Most Benjamites were left-handed.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, very interesting. So he lifted up his robe, and then when he was very close to Eglon, and then he gets his dagger, he thrusts his dagger into Eglon's belly, and like the Bible says that he was so fat that like his fat like absorbed the whole edge of the belly, and then his intestines really spilled off, and all of his
People are eating their breakfast right now.
Oh, sorry about that, but look, there is like a very unpleasant smell coming from that ordeal, and then Ehud managed to leave the palace room. He closed it, so he somehow had access to the keys. Maybe he got him. He knew where he has. This is what I'm talking about, like the intelligence. Like he knew what he was doing, and before the guards knew what was going on, and they found that they were knocking on the door, saying, "King Eglon, is that everything okay with you, sir?" And they could only smell a very bled, fecal smell, and they realized, oh, maybe he's just relieving himself.
Right.
Because look, this is what toilets were back in the days. You had like these little jars. You do your thing. You do number ones, number twos, and then if you're a king, you ask your servants to collect it.
It says in chapter 3, verse 25. So they waited till they were embarrassed.
They waited till they were embarrassed. They couldn't handle it no more. So they opened the door.
Eventually, they unlocked it,
and they found out what has happened. And then
in
Ehud,
that whole time, Ehud's like making a run for it.
Yeah. Oh, Ehud is already way.
He's gone.
Yes, he's gone.
Yeah.
And anyway, so he ended up raising a rebellion against Moab, and the Israelites got free.
Yeah.
So that is Eglon, and Eglon is using his ravenous wolf energy, and he put it to something positive here, which is to deliver Ehud, to deliver his people.
Yeah. Wow.
Now, when we look at Queen Esther, we see that the same as well. In Mordecai, they're using their decisiveness of action to deliver their people. But we also have stories in the Bible where that doesn't happen. For example, King Saul.
Yes.
He started really well. He started as a mighty warrior, but then he spent the rest of his life using his decisiveness of action, his cholericness, if you're into that old-fashioned, like choleric,
I don't
sanguine.
know how all that works.
I think that there's some merit to that. But, he used all of that energy to do what? To persecute David.
Yeah.
That was the mission of his life.
Yeah.
He stopped doing...
He was hyper-focused on that one
hyper-focused on that one thing. Then we look at Saul. Saul was using also his Benjamin-like, ravenous wolf-like energy, his decisiveness of action to do what? To persecute the church. Until God showed him, hey, Saul, you're actually applying your energy in the wrong way. You're persecuting me, brother. You don't want to be doing this.
This is now the apostle.
This is the Apostle Paul now.
Yes. For a second, I was like, we just talked about Saul. Why are you talking about Saul
Yeah,
again?
talking about the other Saul, the
He was
New
named after the
Testament
king.
Saul.
Yeah.
And then he ended up rechanneling all of that energy
His zealous energy.
into planting churches and traveling and
Going through shipwrecks and everything else that he experienced in
Yeah.
order to continue to share the gospel throughout the Mediterranean.
That's right. So what I make with that is this: and you have so it's interesting how the Bible is. Like you have Ehud, which is a positive story from Israel's deliverance perspective. We have Saul, like in the New Testament, Paul started bad, turned out into good. You have Saul in the Old Testament, King Saul, started good but turned out bad. And we also have a story that is fully bad, which was with the Benjamites in the book of Judges.
Yeah.
So the Benjamites in the book of Judges, the story goes that there is this man, this Levite.
Yeah. So he was a church worker.
He's a church worker kind of thing. He had a concubine from Bethlehem.
So he was not a good church worker.
Yeah, because he has a concubine.
Well, he was a concubine, and I never really had a positive perspective of him from what happens in the rest of the story.
Yeah, that's right. But look, he ended up,
He seems like a grumpy,
he was traveling
moody,
from one place to the other.
isolated guy.
Yeah, he was traveling. He was going from Bethlehem because look, the reality is his concubine. The Bible says she cheated on him.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
I thought she just didn't like him, like he was an abusive guy.
Well, look, the Bible says that she played the harlot on him, so that's how I'm interpreting.
I didn't.
But
see that
he
before.
came down because he wanted to rescue her back or to get her back. So he came from the city where he used to live, like in the north, in the mountains of Ephraim, in the remote places. He goes to Bethlehem, and then he's staying there with her in her father's house, and they're having a chat. They're eating, they're drinking. He's actually overstaying at the request of the father. And finally, he left to go back to his hometown. But he left really late in the day. Has that ever happened to you? Like you're wanting to go somewhere and you
don't have enough time in the day to go.
Yeah, or you say, look, I'm going to leave, tomorrow 8 a.m. But then 8 a.m. comes, nothing's ready. You go 10 a.m., midday, 2 p.m. And by the time that you wanted to arrive and during the day, you're actually traveling at night. This is what happened to them. And his servant that was traveling with them says, hey, can we stop at this city here called Jebus, which is Jerusalem, later on? And says, let's just lodge here. And the Levite says, no, we're not going to go into foreign countries. It's dangerous. Let's go into our own country, Israel. It's much safer.
So I went a little bit further up the road.
A little bit further to a city called Gibeah.
Yes.
Which was in the territory of the
Benjamites.
And he was there and he was just sitting in the public square. Actually, he was knocking on houses and asking, hey, can I just lodge in your house just for like one night? I don't even need to give me anything. I just need some shelter. I have food for my donkeys. I have food for myself. Like, you don't need to worry about me at all. And everybody says, yeah, nah, boom. Door in the face. Yeah, nah, boom. So he surveyed, he did this massive door knocking campaign that not one soul in Benjamite was extending his hospitality, which if you're reading that passage from Middle Eastern eyes, you're already in dismay.
There's
because
something wrong with the people in
hospitality
this city.
it was the number one value
Yeah.
in the Middle Eastern time, even to this day.
Yeah.
I remember this one day. It was let's see, like 5-6 years ago. I dropped off my daughter. She was studying violin at the violin teacher's house.
Yep.
And while she was learning her violin, I decided just to go for a walk around the block. And I saw a man, and I saw that this man was sitting down on his veranda, and his wife was serving him with this mountain of food. Like, there's just this one guy, and she was putting like 10 different kinds of, drinks, like yogurts and soft drinks and juices. Then there's this like pyramid of the most beautiful fruits you can imagine. And then there's all kinds of, treats and sweets. Like, I was like, man, she's maybe preparing for a banquet. Turns out it was the house of a Syrian man, a Syrian refugee here in Australia, or an immigrant. And I was just there, and I could tell that he was, by his looks, that he was Middle Eastern. And I also had Middle Eastern origins myself. Like, my father was Lebanese. And I said, excuse me, uncle, can I ask you something? Are you Lebanese? He said, no, I'm Syrian. Oh, really? I also have family in Syria. So we started chatting, and he invited me to go into his house. He offered me all of his delicacies. It was delicious, by the way. And this is hospitality, because it would be inconceivable for him.
Yes.
For him to be talking to a stranger in his house where he's sitting on this mountain of delicious food without inviting me to partake of that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So hospitality is a very, very serious thing. We in the West, we don't really understand that as the Eastern people, but that's a big thing. Well, turns out, long story short, that the Benjamites ended up doing worse than the Sodomites in Sodom and Gomorrah story.
Yeah.
And they ended up wanting to have intimate relations with these men that were visiting the city. They literally become the Sodomites in that story.
Yeah.
And finally, the Levite man says, look, just take the woman.
Yeah.
And they ended up killing her in that process while grossly violating her.
Yeah.
That's the story. So this is an example of violence going really bad.
Yeah.
Using that energy to do absolute unrighteousness. So what do we make with that? What prayer can we pray for that one, Lindsay? From all of that concept, with all of that blessing from Benjamin, should we pray to be like Benjamin, to be like a ravenous wolf, or not?
Well, I think it's important to recognize your own strength and abilities and pray that God helps you to channel that into the right way, and to, I guess, help you to, put that into the right direction and not be abusive with the strength and the power that you do have.
Yeah. I would say the same thing. I would say, look, if you err more on the side of being passive, I would say, God, can you please help me be more like Benjamin? Can you please help me have more decisiveness of action? Sure. Can you please help me get more energy to do things instead of just sitting passively here, complaining about my fate, about my life, and, throwing the victim card and feeling sorry for myself and throwing the pity party, all these kinds of things. If that's you say, God, can you please give me more decisiveness of action? And God can help you with that.
Yeah.
Now, if on the other hand, you're already a very decisive person and very strong, very full of energy, you're the mover and shaker, you're the doer, says, God, can you also please help me
temper it?
To temper it. Can you please help me not to destroy my relationships in the process of me getting things done?
Yeah.
And that's going to be this way. What are you more inclined to naturally, Lindsay?
Oh, look, I feel like I'm a bit of both in different ways. Like, I feel like there's a part of me that feels like I'm lazy sometimes, but there's another part of me that is so active. Like, when I am really excited about something, I am so in the zone for that. But then I have to be careful that when I'm coming home and talking to people and it's not a get stuff done sort of moment, I have to come out of that and be softer with the people around me so that I'm not steamrolling people around me. So it's a bit of both. It's like I need to actually get myself moving, and then when I'm moving, I need to actually pull myself back into a soft zone of mind in order to have positive relationships and not just steamroll.
Look, I'm more on the
get stuff done.
No, I'm more in the passive side, because for me, like, I'm very content with things, and sometimes this contentment can lead to inaction.
Sure. Okay.
So I'm glad that I'm married to a person that is a person of action.
Yeah.
So we balance each other out very well.
Okay.
If she sees that I'm being too passive, she's like, Joseph, you need to do something about it.
Yeah.
If I see that she's going a little bit too fast, say, hey, love, you need to slow down a little bit. So we work as a team really well.
You're listening to the Breakfast Show podcast on Faith FM. Positively different.
And now Mr. Tish will reveal to us the answer to the quiz question. So please, Tish.
The answer to that question was Numbers, the book of Numbers.
Numbers. And Val May sent here Bimidbar. She got my tip here. So that's the right answer. So Bimidbar in the desert. If you go to the book of Numbers, you're going to see that it starts with the word. Then the Lord spoke to Moses in the wilderness of Sinai. But I think that in Hebrew is like it starts with
In the
Bimidbar.
wilderness of Sinai.
Yeah,
In the wilderness, then God spoke or something.
That's
probably.
right, yeah.
Like the grammar's a bit back to fronty.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, everyone, for playing. So Valmay, David, Janelle was sending a couple of attempts here. I think she got one there at the end. So well done, everyone. Thanks so much for playing with us. Now, we have a resource that we're giving away. We're talking about, the need to temper our temperament, to be a little bit more action oriented if we are a little bit too passive, or to be a little bit more mindful of others if we are a little bit too good of accomplishers and too focused in getting things done. Wherever you are in the spectrum, I have a resource that's going to help you out. It's a Bible study guide on relationships with some essential skills in relationships. You can certainly learn something from that one. Text me here, #relationships to 0491 064 669, and we will send that material to you.
Get up and run. Get up and run. Because the lion has no teeth. Your fears are not what they seem. Your chains aren't attached to anything. Run, run. Run, run. On the ground, falling down, need healing. Giving up, losing trust, are you leading? What's the use? Self-abuse, still screaming. Show me the way to peace. Show me the way of peace. Get up and run. Get up and run. Because the lion has no teeth. Your fears are not what they seem. Your chains aren't attached to anything. Run, run. Run, run. Get up and run. Get up and run. Because the lion has no teeth. Your fears are not what they seem. Your chains aren't attached to anything. Run, run. Run, run. Run, run.
Thanks for being a part of the Faith FM family. Join our community on Facebook or get in touch at 1-800-FAITH-FM.